Hello and welcome to this video. This is part 2. Make sure that you watch part 1 where I describe the state machine that we want to implement, that we will implement in this video. We won't implement that from scratch. I will just show you the solution. So first I did create a SharePoint list here where user will submit content. And you see I have the following list with ID, title, one column for advisor, secretariat, and boss. So approve or reject in all these role columns. And to automate this stuff, in my agent, so in the agent that I did create in the previous video, I've associated two triggers. So one trigger that will start when someone creates a new content, when an item is created, right? So you can add several triggers associate several triggers to an agent. If you take a look at this trigger, behind the curtain, of course, we have a automate flow, which starts when someone creates something in this list. And we send a prompt instruction to the Copilot, right? And the phrase is very important. A user has created new content. I provide the title. And also I provide the record ID of the content here. I put that in this prompt. So actually this is an action called, I think, execute Copilot, something like this. So in execute, or if you look for Copilot Studio, you should find, where is it? Let's try to find it by typing Copilot Studio, and normally we should see execute Copilot, right? So it's just a way to send a prompt to an LLM. The LLM associated with our agent. And this makes it an autonomous agent, of course. All right. And the second trigger is the one that will start when someone change the content or approve or reject the content or the style. So it could be the advisor, the secretariat, or the boss. Okay, so this one trigger, and the information is sent to the agent LLM. If I edit this one, you will see that when something change, I call the agent, and I send the prompt to the LLM of the agent. And the prompt is a bit more complex. So the content, I provide the content with record ID, and then I specify the action. Has been approved, has been rejected by advisor, or by secretariat, or by boss, right? Or has been updated, or so something like this. So I send in information that will influence the behavior of the LLM. And in the LLM, of course, in the agent, I've implemented the state machine, and the LLM associated with the agent will follow the state machine instruction. So I've created several topics. I've renamed the topics a little bit. And here in each topic, well, in the advisor, I've called a automate flow called Copilot validate content that I will illustrate it later. And I pass two information, the record ID and the role, right? Same for boss, same for secretariat. Well, I didn't implement boss, but take a look at secretariat. We have the same thing. Boss is still empty. I have to implement it, but that's not important for now, right? Good. So the approval process takes place in a automate flow behind the curtain. And I have a third flow. So this is the flow that does the approval the content approval. You see, I start the flow, I respond immediately to the agent because the approval process can take several weeks. So I don't want to block the agent. And in this flow, I update the item approval status so that we know exactly who did what, right? In the SharePoint list. Cool. So, yeah, the phrase that you send to the prompt is extremely important, right? So when you test, make sure that you test this phrase, right? Also, to get the content ID, I've created a topic variable here called record ID that I dynamically fill from information uh, fetched by the LLM, something that looks like a record ID, which is information that I pass from the flow to the agent, right? Normally the LLM is smart enough to retrieve this information, which is very cool. Don't forget that every time you call the LLM, you need to provide a. Okay, so what we're going to test here is this. A user will submit the content, advisor will validate the content, I will approve the content as advisor, then Secretariat will validate the style, and Secretariat will reject. So we'll move to this stage. The user will update the style. So that means normally we will go back to Secretariat, and Secretariat will then approve, and it will move to boss, right? Okay. And if I want to change the logic of this, I won't here. But if I want, I just need to change the instruction in the agent home page, right? For instance, I can say if user John submit a new content, it should automatically be published, right? Because John is actually a high privilege employee, right? Something like this. But I won't have to change my application. I will only have to change the instruction for the LLM, and that's it. So this provides a lot of flexibility if you want to implement state machine. Okay, I really like that. So let's go to the SharePoint list and let's create a new content. 0940. Okay. Let's refresh the list. Okay, nobody has approved anything yet, right? So, okay. So that means that the trigger should start. Okay, it start. And now if I go to the agent activity log, I can see that indeed the system is waiting for advisor to validate the content, right? And normally, and you see the prompt information. So I put the whole context. I send the whole context to the agent. It's waiting for advisor to approve. So here, let's go to advisor. And I should have an approval there. Yes. Okay. So let's approve. As an advisor, I approve it. And now the SharePoint list has been modified, approved by the workflow. And now let's wait a little bit for the other flow to be triggered and send some prompt information to the LLM. Okay, that's okay. Now it started. Let's go to the agent activity log, and I can see normally that Secretariat should approve. Yeah, waiting for Secretariat to validate. This means that normally I have an approval for Secretariat. Let's refresh this. Okay. Let's approve this. Or let's reject it. Okay, let's reject it. And normally the user will be requested to change the style. Okay, it's rejected in the SharePoint list. Now, if I go to the agent activity log, normally I should see that we are waiting for not yet trigger. It's a live demo. Okay, here we go. Normally, the system has detected that something changed, and yes, we are waiting for the user to update the style. Okay, and this is the prompt. The full stack is sent to the LLM. Now, let's say I'm the user and I'm gonna update the style, right? Normally, the system should request Secretariat to approve it. If we follow this business logic here, user update style, and normally Secretariat will have to validate. All right, I see that the flow has been triggered. So now, if I go back to the activity, indeed, the system is waiting for Secretariat to validate. And the prompt was this. Has been approved by advisor, rejected by Secretariat, and user has updated the style. Okay, so we did this. Now we can do this. Let's validate. Let's approve it as a Secretariat. Okay, approved, and it should go to boss. You can see that it is now approved in the SharePoint list. So now the flow should start again. And I can see that the flow has been triggered. And now the system is waiting for boss to validate, right? There is. All right, so now let's change the logic of the LLM. So we can say this here. If the content look secret, don't ask any validation from anyone. The content must directly be published, right? So let's try this. Let's save this instruction and let's publish this. Right? Let's publish this. Okay. Now let's add some content that looks very secret. Normally I should bypass the, um, the approvals. Okay, it's here. All right, I can see that the flow has been triggered. And now if I take a look at the activity, I can see that the content is published. Right? And the only thing I did was to change the LLM instruction. Right? So this is really cool. Really, really, really cool. So I don't know if this is a good practice to use an autonomous agent to implement a state machine, but at least it is very, very interesting, right? So I'm very excited by this. So I hope that you enjoy this. Thank you.